It's skincare time. We're starting Arazlo, La Roche-Posay Toleriane Purifying Foaming Cleanser. I've watched a bunch of videos on Arazlo just to try to educate myself on what to expect and how to use it. And honestly, I've seen different people using it differently. Some people use it right after washing their face. Some people use it last. So I'm just going to use it where I would normally use my Tret. It is supposed to be stronger than Tret. The general consensus is that there's less irritation with it. One of my mutuals who is using it has also mentioned that it has been less triggering for perioral dermatitis, and I actually saw a few other people say that, so I really like that. Prequel Universal Skin Solution. This is a hypochlorous acid spray. I need to let the hypochlorous acid dry down before I go in with the rest of my skincare. So while that dries down, I'm just going to go over why I'm switching to Arazlo from Tret. When I first started using Tret, I was using Retin A gel. This is 0.025%. And I used this for almost 2 years. I've actually been using Tret for almost 3 years. I completely did not realize. I started out with this. And while I found it to be so effective and I saw great results on it, I think the gel was just way too irritating for me. I was constantly dealing with flaking, peeling, dryness, and it was just really hard to get control of. This is alcohol based, so I feel like it was a lot more irritating and it did trigger my perioral dermatitis more often than I would like. Eventually, I decided to switch from gel to cream, and it was Stevia A 0.025% cream. This was so much easier to use, way less irritating, but I honestly feel like my results were not as noticeable as they were with the gel. Even though I had irritation, I feel like the gel was more effective and quicker at fading these kind of spots that I get when I pick up my skin. And this is my fault. You shouldn't pick. So self-imposed. I just personally don't see results as quickly with cream as I did with gel. But on top of that, 0.025% cream Tret has been discontinued in Canada. So I was faced with making the decision of either switching back to gel, which was too irritating for me, or increasing to 0.05% Tret cream. I don't necessarily want to increase strengths because Tret is not the kind of thing where using a higher strength will get you more results. Some people see results at 0.025%, some people don't. The people that don't likely do need to increase, but if you see results at 0.025%, you're completely fine staying there. You do not need to work your way up to the highest strength that there is. In the middle of deciding whether or not I should switch back to gel or increase the strength on cream is when Arazlo came into the picture. I started hearing about this a few months ago, and I didn't pay too much attention to it because I was just completely on my Tret journey. But now that I was facing a decision to have to change to something else, I looked into this further. I knew a heart leaf toner. Now, Arazlo is a much newer retinoid. It is stronger than Tret. You just don't see many people talking about it because it is new. Murad Cellular Hydration Repair Serum. Basically, I decided to switch to Arazlo because if it's stronger and less irritating, why not? I'm also going to give this skincare about 15 minutes before I go in with my Arazlo. Everything doesn't work for everyone. I'm not trying to make this sound like some miracle kind of retinoid, but I'm pretty hopeful and I hope it does work for me. By the way, this Murad Cellular Hydration Repair Serum has been one of my favorite new introductions, I can't say that word, into my skincare. This has a bunch of ingredients in it that help support your barrier's health and help repair it if it's compromised. I love sandwiching my Tret with this, so I'm going to keep doing that with Arazlo and hopefully it works out. Sandwich method. I've been talking about this a lot lately because I feel like a lot of people think that sandwich method is only sandwiching your retinoids with a moisturizer, but you can also use your serums, toners, essences as your first layer in a sandwich method. So you'll put that down first, then your retinoid, then your moisturizer. That's still a sandwich method. The toners, serums, and essences that you use first basically serve as a buffer. Just make sure they don't have any actives. So this is what the tube of Arazlo looks like. It's called Tazarotene Lotion and it's 0.045%. I'm not sure what the different strengths it comes in are. I need to look into it. Same thing as Tret though. If this strength works for me and I see good results, I'm not going to increase it. Okay, so that's the consistency. It's like a cream. It looks pretty similar to cream Tret, but we'll see what it feels like. I started with that much. I've seen so much debate about pea size amount and what that means. And I don't remember which derm I saw. I think it was Dr. Dre saying that she doesn't actually tell people to use a pea size amount anymore because it's so subjective, and it's just followed up with a bunch of questions. So she tells people to use a pearl size amount. And ultimately, if you're using more than that and it works for you, then just keep doing what works for you. I have always used more than a pea size amount. People come at me for it and they tell me that I'm using way too much, but my skin's fine with it. This feels very creamy. It almost feels a bit thicker than my Tret cream, and it's dried down pretty fast. I'm gonna let that dry down before I put on my moisturizer because I don't want my moisturizer to just mix in with it and then I just end up with a super uneven application. In the meantime, let's do some bedtime perfume. And honestly, lately I've been really enjoying my bedtime perfume because I definitely feel it has an effect on my sleep quality. And when I wake up in the morning and the first thing I smell is something so beautiful, delicious, and cozy, puts me in such a good mood. Blanche Bête from Liquide Imaginaire. This is white florals dipped in sweet vanilla milk. I try not to use this too much for going to sleep because it's not cheap, but it's so strong that one spray, maybe two, is enough. And I'll still smell it in the morning. Moisturizer is going to be the Anua Intense Calming Cream. One of my favorite moisturizers. Literally just a knuckle is enough. Let's see how it works with Arazlo. Sometimes different formulations don't work so well with the products you normally use, so gotta test it out. So far, so good though. Skincare done. This smell, by the way, if you haven't smelled Blanche Bête, you can sample it at Luckyscent. I'll put my code on the screen. It is so dreamy. Any questions, drop them in the comments, or if you have advice or tips on Arazlo, please let me know.